Oh, hello, and hi, it's me, Kristen. You may know me from real life, the internet, Instagram, the hit live stream, 2GIRLS1BED. And right now I'm going to introduce to you 2GIRLS1BED. So we've done a few of these. However, someone keeps forgetting to save them and then post them to a YouTube channel, which would be helpful. And so I received your overwhelming feedback in this regard, and I will put this on YouTube. In fact, I even have a backup camera happening in case I forget to hit save, which does happen quite a bit. So anyway, the whole point of this, by the way, is to bring death to lesbian bed death, right? This is lesbian sex advice from a fitness perspective. And as always, I'm gonna remind you, I am not a sex therapist at all. I am a fitness professional who occasionally has sex, the lesbian kind. And how I'm gonna define that is, two or more lesbian identified people or female identified people who are doing it, technically speaking, with people who identify in the same way, right? So that could mean a whole lot of folks. So I'm not gonna speak super explicitly for a couple reasons about, I don't know, genitalia or things like that, but I am gonna talk about basic movements that come up in the bedroom and in real life and in the gym, and how to merge all of these. Cool, so death to lesbian bed death, it is the worst. I also really hope to counteract a lot of stereotypes that were like frumpy and gross. Some of us are frumpy and gross, but not all of us are. And in fact, a lot of us enjoy having sex. It's amazing. Cool, so I wrote about a bunch of notes to make sure that I covered everything. As always, any comments, concerns, etc. I'm gonna address at the way end. So go ahead and post them now. Just try not to distract me, or do. I don't know, I like a good challenge, and I'll get to that at the end. So today we're gonna start from the top or from the bottom, however you wanna make that terrible pun, and talk about strap-on sex. So this was the first ever topic I was asked to talk about, and it's why I'm wearing my daddy socks today. Just one of the reasons, actually. So we're gonna talk about strap-on sex from a giving perspective. And within that, we're gonna drill down to warm up and cool down. Next week, I'm gonna be going over the giving role of strap-on sex as it pertains to functional exercise. And the addition next week will be about things you can do kind of all the time at home. And the week after, we're actually gonna be in the gym where I belong. And we're gonna talk about things you can do in your fitness routine to be an even better top than I'm sure you are. Coincidentally, today is March 15th, AKA the Ides of March. And I just wanna say, it was on this day, however many years ago, I'm not amazing at math, Brutus stab Caesar from behind. And you know what? You can channel that, and maybe you should. So, okay, topping in strap-on sex. So I'm just gonna go over a couple positions, and then we're gonna map that to functional human movements, and therefore things that we need to warm up, AKA make more flexible or mobile, and then also activate. So here's some different positions. Probably we all know these, but I'm just gonna go over them. Cool, so one is missionary. So if you the top, sorry, I'm thirsty. If you're on a bed or like a flat surface, probably this is happening, right? So you can see my hips need to be open. We'll go over this a little bit more in a moment. Another possibility is you are standing, yeah, kind of like this, kind of bent over, right? Another possibility still is one of the best ones, I think. You're on your back, but you're not doing work, right? You can be like this or in the butterfly position. There are so many things you can do, and I'm just going to talk to you about being better at them. So first of all, in the warm-up, the first thing we want to do is make sure that we are operating from a place of flexibility and therefore safety, right? Flexibility means that our joints are able to achieve the full natural range of motion and we're not forcing anything. We do that and we make sure we don't pull a muscle, rendering us technically injured and our partners technically disappointed, right? So this is preventative and also just gonna make everything better. So the very first thing we wanna do is think about, what does this resemble in the gym? I'll tell you, it resembles a deadlift, and there are very many kinds of that, a hip thrust, a kettlebell swing, a good morning or a good night, depending on when you do it. And there are a lot of other movements that this kind of resembles, but it is an explosive hip hinge. We therefore need to make sure the hips are open and our glutes and some other muscles around the core are activated. That way, again, we don't hurt ourselves, throw out our backs, pull something, etc. And these things do happen, especially if you're thirsty and not hydrated. Okay, flexibility, open hips. So this is one of my favorite combinations ever. We actually do this in class at the studio that I own around my wife. It is a ground to overhead inchworm combination. So you're gonna get your feet pretty wide apart. I'm gonna show you this from the side. You're gonna get really tall through your middle fingers. You're gonna crawl down into a plank. From here, you're gonna go into an up dog. So this is gonna open the front of my hips. You can even bring your head back. Then you're gonna flip your feet back and then you're gonna walk back, right? So again, tall through the middle fingers. We kind of turn the neck and the spine into jelly. We crawl out into a plank. We go into an up dog. We look up. We flip the heels back. And then boom, right? So just with that one little combination, we're starting to open the front and the back of the body, and therefore the front and the back of the hips, the lower back, all of those things. I'm not reading comments yet, Hookah. Yes, I am. Okay, anyway, we'll get back to those. So that's one of them. Another one is, I've called it the pillow princess in the past. It's a static stretch, but if you're gonna be on the bottom in like a butterfly position, this is absolutely necessary. I know everyone's laughing, that's fine. So the pillow princess is my favorite one. You've got a really wide stance. This is gonna open up the inner thighs and that portion of the hips. And this is actually static. You wanna make sure your hips are right over your knees. So from here, you're just gonna kind of let yourself sink into this. I like to hold this for about 90 to 120 seconds. You might find that as you do this, you get lower and lower to the ground. And then this is kind of what it resembles in a similar but different context. So that is our flexibility. When it comes to the order of operations, as I mentioned, flexibility, mobility first, so range of motion achieved, then activation. So for these first two things, you're gonna do that ground to overhead, down dog, up dog combination rather, 8 to 10 times, and then you're gonna hold the pillow princess for 90 to 120 seconds. You only need to do one round of that, okay? So then after that, we're gonna make sure that we are activated. So when you think about explosive hip hinge, right, from a bunch of different positions within that, we care about the lower abs or the pelvic floor. So much to talk about there. Oh my God, that could be a whole thing. The glute max, yeah, and the hamstrings. Typically, we don't have to worry about a lot of the smaller muscles in the hips turning on because chances are they're actually working in overdrive, especially the less active that our glutes are. So one really good way to activate the glutes is by way of glute bridges. So I've talked about this before, but because I haven't documented any of these, maybe it's the first time you're seeing this. So the way that we do a glute bridge is we're on our back. Hey-yo. You're going to dig your feet really close to your butt. You're going to keep your pelvis tucked, right, so we're not arching, and you're gonna bring yourself up, feeling your low glute max inner hamstrings work, go palms up, and then come right back down. Boom, boom. If you find that when you bridge up, you can't extend your hips all the way, that is an issue, and you need to do a lot more foam rolling. For more questions about that, go ahead and email me. My email address is on my profile. So the next thing you can do are good mornings. Recommend doing these on your feet, even though your act you're about to do may not be on your feet, but it's really good because we actually get a lot of core activation from standing on our feet, provided you take your shoes off, which you should if you're inside. Okay, so feet are right under the hips, just like this. I'll show you from the front. This is a good morning. We're getting to a prisoner position, and we're keeping our spine straight, eyes aligned with the sternum, and we're coming right back up. So same thing from the side, getting really tall from the back, bending it over, and coming back up. Really important about this, we don't want to bend over so much that we round, and we don't really want to arch that much. You want to keep this as straight as possible. There's another joke in there, but I'm tired. Okay, so we've got glute bridges, good mornings. The other thing probably would be really good as a dynamic activation situation would be air squats or body weight squats. The reason being, okay, so we've activated the butt and the hamstrings, but the squats are actually going to help us engage the rectus abdominis and other components of the hips and kind of let them all work together, which they're about to wink. So air squats, really easy. Wear the shirt for you guys. Feet under the shoulders, get really tall through the spine, butt goes back. We're at the same height if not a little bit lower than our knees, and we come up, so a full hip extension. From the side, it looks like this, staying really stacked through our abdomen, butt comes back, same depth, if not lower than the knees, come right back up. So, how many do I do of these? Great question, you. You're gonna do 2 sets of 10 repetitions of each of these exercises, right? So glute bridges, good mornings, and air squats. Good mornings you could also call good nights. I don't know, I don't really know your life that well. So now we're ready for the act. I'm not gonna go into the specifics about how to do it better. That might be crossing a line, I don't know, but I also don't have time for it. What we're gonna do now is go into the cool down, and I've got 3 different moves for you here. So the first is my favorite, forward fold. I stole it from yoga. They existed first, I'm gonna admit it. All you have to do with that is stand up and come down. You can even grab the back of your legs and look through. From the side, it looks like this. I think grabbing the back of your legs is always a good thing to do, and you're just gonna look through and let the back of the spine get really, really long. When we talk about holding these poses, we wanna at least hold them for 60 seconds, by the way. Fewer than 60 seconds means that we're actually not letting the tissues relax and defeating the purpose. Another really good one is child's pose. I hate the name given the context of how I'm explaining it to you, but it is a thing, and I also stole that from yoga. Who is she? Okay, child's pose, feet together, knees out wide, and you are just trying to loosen up the lower back and perhaps the lats or mid back as well. And then my favorite, I spoke too soon about forward fold. That's my second favorite. My absolute favorite one is spooning. So this could also be considered aftercare, and you could be the big or the little spoon or the middle spoon depending on how your night's going, and that would actually help stretch out the low back and prevent you from getting tight in the wrong way for the next day. Cool. I have a couple of announcements, but first we're gonna scroll through whatever you guys have been saying here. Okay, people have joined. That's amazing. So happy you're here. Good morning. That's a good one. Good morning. Okay. Angela, always thirsty. Okay, guys, that's really funny. You're totally feeling activated. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much. Good. I'm glad Nikki knows me better now. Okay, is there a good variation of air squats that might... Okay, tad kinder on the knees. Well, it depends on what's wrong with your knees. If there is in fact like a structural issue such as your patella is not staying in the right place, or you have hurt one or more ligaments, or you're missing something, or something's happened to your meniscus, that's one thing. But if you're just kind of tight and you feel like a gripping sensation on the knee when you descend into the squat or you do a lunge or split squat or something, probably that's more of like a flexibility issue with your quads. If you think about it, if I feel pulling here, it's because something is tight above that joint, and that means I'm less flexible or less mobile than I need to be to do that motion. So it really depends. For that specific question, you can go ahead and DM me or email me. I'm more than happy to do a deep dive and answer that with you or for you. Okay, cool. Those are the questions that we have. I'm just gonna shamelessly promote a couple of things this moment. The first being the YouTube channel. I'll have a link back to that as soon as I'm allowed to put it back on my profile. Long story. Also, if you're going to Dinah Shore, that's amazing. Until tomorrow, that is Saturday the 16th, we're accepting applications to join our Dinah Shred program. It's a 21-day challenge that'll get you looking and feeling your absolute best for, let's be honest, the best pool party and long weekend of the year in the LA area. Go ahead, DM or email me for that, or click on the link on my profile. Again, we're taking applications all the way through tomorrow, so get your fucking ass on it. Last but not least, put this in your calendars if you're in the area and if you fit the criteria. Again, I don't fucks with the dudes because you ruined it by way of DMs, and also you're not who I'm talking to. I'm giving a live workshop Saturday, March 30th at 2:30 at the Phoenix Effect. It's going to be amazing. I'll be kind of giving out more details about what to expect, how to prepare for that. And As of April, for my personal training / one-on-one coaching, my wait list will be done unless something happens. So in April, if you want one-on-one coaching sessions for this specifically, or overall fitness, or you've got some other goals, hit me up. But I'm really excited to start kicking off a one-on-one coaching program for specifically this. I've already built out a bunch of programs, both with regards to strength and mobility. And I'm really excited. Cool. I'm going to scroll through one more time. If I don't see anything else, I'm going to let you guys go. On it like a car bonnet. Yeah, I'm into that. Cool. So I hope everyone has an amazing Friday, an amazing weekend. Again, act like Brutus stabs someone in the back with consent, if that speaks to you, because it is the Ides of March. And yeah, any questions, go ahead, email me at the email address on my profile. All right, happy Friday. I hope I remember to save this. Goodbye.